Welcome to my channel. This is a reading for Cancer. This is for February 2020 and it's a career and finance reading. Just a quick rundown of the layout. I am using two different decks, the Lima and the Archangel Power. I have drawn, normally it's just 3 cards I use for the reading, which are at the very back here. But there was an additional one that fell out, so I thought I would take it. As well, I do have some clarifier cards down here as well. Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups, and Death card, clarifying the Hermit. And again, just a few others that are clarifying, as well as the Justice card. So to begin, we're starting at the Hangman position here. So this is an indication that you were struggling with something. So you were trying to transition because you are changing your perspective with that card, but you're at some kind of crossroads. So either you felt that you had to sacrifice something, and or you had to give something up, but either way, there's some sense of suffering there. And you had to accept some kind of a loss, for the greater good. But basically, it's also a card about having patience. And so in that level of frustration, you did have some self-sabotage, maybe bad, negative self-talk going on, but you were holding yourself back either way. There's also, and you had to let go of some baggage, but there's also some indication there with the Knight of Cups. Normally that speaks to an energy of a person. I mean, it could really be someone who is, somebody who's imaginative and, very creative, that kind of thing. Someone who likes to be in love, is inspiring, or, you're inspired. You could be this person here as well. But I feel in this particular reading, because this person could be a bit of a narcissist as well, but it represents a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. But I think, as I say, because it's surrounded through so many cards of introspection and anxiety, I really feel it's really a card just telling you that, you have valuable qualities and that there is some wonderful skills that you have, but you're too insecure to see them and that you're lacking confidence. So, following that, as I say, is the Seven of Cups. And the Seven of Cups speaks to either a lot of anxiety or having a lot of choices, which again could cause a lot of anxiety. But the Seven of Cups is, feeling a little disorganized. And again, because it's surrounded by so many other cards there that are going through, pulling back, feeling a little more isolated, trying to regain your composure again, and get focused. I feel that's really what that card speaks to. And the Magician, of course, following that, just to clarify, is a card of power, and you have the ability to harness that power and take control of your life, which you have done, as I see throughout the rest of February. But again, during that period of indecision and a lack of understanding here, from the start of February, you actually have been able to move away from that anxiety, and break through illusions, because you actually have the Magician. So the Magician, again, is somebody who's able to take control of their life, move things ahead, manifest what it is that they want to make happen. And it's really, you're just feeling reinvigorated and empowered again. So it's that ability to manifest and realize your own potential again, and you're back to focusing on your goal. And especially because it is, and again, it's that ability to create your own destiny here with the Magician. And because it is followed by, the Star card, there's that unlimited potential, and there's light that's being shed there. You are being re-inspired. You are getting divine or intuitive inklings that are moving you forward with the Star, and it's also being clarified by the Knight of Wands and the King of Pentacles. To me, less about the energy of people coming through on that one, and really feels to me like it's just you getting your ambition back and refocusing on the money. The Hermit card, again, still in that place of, even though you're regaining your motivation there with the Magician card and the Star card, it's a little bit of a slow, at a bit of a slow point to get there. The Hermit does indicate that you have pulled back. You're still in that introspection, degree of introspection and soul searching, and you're thinking long and hard before committing on to a project or before committing to something and going ahead. So you're still withdrawn, but you are relying on your intuition here with the Hermit to pull you through, and you are able to through that self-reflection, you're actually able to pull out and be patient enough to avoid rushing ahead and taking too much risk. And again, I feel this is actually your energy here coming through, because I don't feel that you are in any strong risk-taking position in the month of February. I feel that this is really you just, standing back and making plans, and, you just being methodical and, diligently working towards something. But again, with the Hermit card clarified by the Death card, again, this is something that is you, giving birth to, change and transition. And, it's about beginnings and endings. And again, because there's also a couple of tens in there as well that speak to that, it's just you ending a cycle of some sort here. You've got lots of tens, and there's a period of enlightenment as well down here, but lots of tens, and that Death card clarifying with the Hermit. So you actually are coming through something. You are ending a cycle. You are letting go of the past. You're eliminating what isn't necessary anymore in your life, and you're letting go of those negative attachments. So, you're maybe even just going back to basics and getting back to that practical energy here of the Knight, which I feel is really your energy here. But the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords, I don't feel, again, that those are energies coming through. As people, I feel that they are representative of, the Queen of Swords being somebody, normally it would be an energy of somebody who is, like an entrepreneurial spirit, somebody who's quite clever and very intellectual, that kind of thing, which, might speak to you as well. But I feel it's also more specific to you cutting through illusions and being able to become rational again and pull yourself through your own issues, that you were struggling with there, and that you're using your rational mind to resolve the problem. You are somebody who's a thinker. And so, normally, as I say, this could be representative of a person who's a business person or a lawyer, that kind of thing, somebody who's really creative and intuitive, that stands in their truth. But I feel that it's really about your ability to solve the problem quickly. And with the Queen of Cups, again, representative of you struggling with a highly emotional issue, something that made you very sensitive, something, and again, being very intuitive because of the Queen of Cups, but something that you needed to let go of. And, you were just allowing yourself that time, because it's, again, a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. And I just feel that you were just too emotional and way up in your head, and that you weren't able to pull through right away from the beginning. You were just overwhelmed, but you actually were able to pull through once you, once you actually relied back on your practical, rational mind here with the Queen of Swords, and followed, the path of your Knight. But again, it did bring you to the Ten of Cups, and the Ten of Cups, of course, speaks to that energy of, you finding happiness, you finding that fulfillment, that abundance, family life, or however it relates to you. But again, everything is improving, and there's luck here, there's balance restored, there is a successful outcome. So you are finding that balance, that safety, that period of safety, and that there's not, you're not able to, you are able to go forward with this Ten of Cups. And again, it's moving into the Wands, and I see more swords in this reading, but there are a few wands. But again, swords representing things of the mind, so you are really, thinking quite a bit about, where you're at and where you're headed in this reading, especially making plans and all of that. But the wand speaks to you regaining your ambition and your creativity back again. So maybe about the middle of February there, I would say you have this new beginning. You're ready to start on a new adventure. You've got energy and action. It is a time for you to act, especially with the Page of Swords coming through. And so you're actually able to, to act on and be passionate about things again. So you might have fell through a little bit of a negative period in your head, but you are coming out of all of that. So again, pages speak to messages coming through, and the fact that the Page of Swords is followed by that the Ten of Swords, which is really about beginnings, endings, and enlightenment. Tells me that you really are in the spirit of learning. You're ready to stand up for yourself, ready to take action. About the middle of February, you're getting your motivation back. That even though you've had some challenges, mentally, with all of the swords, you're definitely still able to get past it, and you're using a logical mindset to do it. So again, you've gone through all of this, beginnings and endings with the death cards and the tens, but you are able to actually move ahead and move to the next stage of the challenge. So the next card here is actually, as I mentioned before, the Knight of Pentacles. This is somebody who's really practical minded. This is somebody who's able to who's also very emotionally detached, but hardworking and responsible. Somebody who is really good at performing tasks and completing tasks. Not necessarily a self-starter, but somebody who is really good at getting the job done. So, I mean, this could also indicate, because there were some new opportunities with the wands, could also indicate that there's some kind of a job change, that you're quitting a job for more money or you're moving for work, but it is relative to pentacles. It's relative to money. So you're getting, this is somebody who creates their own success. They throw in, they throw in the hard work and the responsibility behind it. They get the job done. This is somebody who is definitely puts in the time and the effort and has a traditional sense about them. And again, maybe not an overly emotional person overtly, but definitely a very sensitive soul underneath. So again, you are focusing, getting your focus back. You are focusing on your career. And you're definitely somebody who is back to considering, money and making plans, because it's followed by the Three of Wands. And again, threes are also representing, self-expression and creativity, results, achievement, expansion, anything along that line. So building something. So again, the Three of Wands is about stepping back, making plans, assessing your territory, going on to a new path. You're somebody who really you're not a high risk taker. You're somebody who's actually plotting things out. So you are putting in that effort. As I say, it's not luck based in the month of February. You are somebody who actually, just by nature, uses knowledge to move forward. So you do the study, you do the work. You are slow to move on things, but you do it in a way that is practical and safe and methodical. So there is also another energy that's coming in around you. This one actually speaks to me of an energy around you, and that is following the Three of Wands, which is the King of Wands. And the kings are generally somebody who's already kind of gotten to a certain point of a certain level of authority, and and they're able to provide some advice for you. And that's what I feel here. This is like a role model of some sort. So it's somebody who is a powerful leader, somebody who's bold, somebody who is like an inspiring, dramatic kind of person here with the King of Wands. Doesn't matter if it's male or female, but somebody who's already mastered something. And it could also speak to you, in terms of, even though you may be getting advice from this person, it also speaks to you gaining new abilities, and you're learning from, whatever struggles that you had in the month of February there. So it is somebody who likes to be center stage, as I said, very theatrical, dramatic kind of person, but it could also speak to additional money coming through with a business. Although, again, I feel that this is really more of a person that's coming through in the energy to give you some advice and help you to, move toward your own talent, whether it's with a job, or something that you're working on, but it is something that you're getting some assistance with. And moving on to the next card, this is actually the Nine of Swords. So again, with the nines are really about, that completeness. So somebody who's taking action and acting with courage and using wisdom. But again, it didn't come easily, because there is a lot of anxiety that goes with this card. So the Nine of Swords is, you struggling again, maybe what advice was given to you, causes you a little bit of upset because you're not sure how to enact it just yet. But it is definitely, you're feeling a sense of loss or fear or self-doubt, that kind of thing. But that anxiety it may be just a process for you to get through, to get your thinking under control, but it is about, trying to get yourself to be a little more courageous and refocused again, so that you can think more logically. And logic seems to be your way of getting through issues, being rational and logical. But again, it's just saying, wake up. You may have had the self-doubt, but just get back to, the process of practical movement. So again, here is the Six of Pentacles. And again, sixes are really about finding that harmony and that inner peace again. And so, that centeredness, but it's also about reciprocity. It's about, somebody helping you out. And again, I feel that it is this help from somebody else here toward the end of February, but you are finding that you're getting some help. Again, it doesn't have to be money. It could be, along the lines of advice or, business sense. But it's also about somebody who is able to receive. So, being grateful and even if and just as a side note, this could even be somebody who's involved in the entertainment industry, just because of the nature of the type of card. But again, it is really something that is, you are able to start receiving and opening up, and you're being charitable or somebody else is being charitable to you, but it is still a positive card. So it's balance and fairness and all of that with the Six of Pentacles. And again, with the following card here, which is the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune is really telling you that you're on the right path. It's clarified by the Justice. So you're making the right decisions. The Wheel of Fortune is telling you that things are moving in a positive direction. So for the things that you have done and the things that you have, gone through and struggled with emotionally and mentally, you really have come out of it. So you are guided by your intuition here. And again, the universe is synchronizing things and turning things around so that you actually continue to get that enlightenment throughout the period of February. And it is fortune that's planned for the better for you. It's your destiny that's starting to come through here. So this path is one that you're destined for. This is something that, is, again, it is a sense of luck, but again, it's not luck coming in as in, just being there at the right time necessarily, although it feels like the universe is lining it up for you versus you just showing up and you just happen to be there at the right time. And again, with the Knight of Pentacles, this is also an indication that you're actually putting in the effort and the time for it, and it's knowledge based. So again, speaking to the Wheel of Fortune, definitely ending on a really positive note, that the universe is helping you to bring about your opportunities. But again, it's motivated by your own effort and your own ability to, act with certainty and practicality. So keep at it, whatever this is, whatever this destined journey you're on. You are definitely somebody who's very intellectual, very inspirationally led, highly emotional person, very sensitive, and you really need to have more belief in yourself, because you do have a lot of potential here, and especially because you're able to balance out both the spiritual elements as well as the practical. I think that you actually do have a very strong sense of yourself, maybe even like an old soul, really. But just to give you a little insight for the month of February, career and finance, and again, Cancer, February 2020, looking forward to March.